What's going on, everybody? That last little video, I got a phone call and that was dispatch. I guess I got my T-Mix run back. They evidently been moving fuel through the pipelines out there and I don't know if the tank is full, but they got enough that they need trucks moving T-Mix again. So I've been put back on my Tulsa run, and so I jumped in the truck and raced down the Dodge and unhooked that ammonia trailer and hooked up my fuel trailer. Got that all hooked on, and anyways, I got Great White here in the shop for just a little bit. I need to give it a few squirts of grease, and I'm gonna bring you along on that, and then we're gonna mess on the John Deere tractor. I've been watching some YouTube videos, and that fitting that I can't get to come loose. One guy showed a technique where he took his cutting torch and heated 2 flat spots on that collar nut, orange, and then he poured water on it, and that does something to it, and it just come loose like butter. So we'll give that a try here in a little bit, but let me pull on my rubber gloves and I will do my best not to get no grease on this GoPro camera. So got my shop music playing. That is, I hope, YouTube acceptable. Right now my channel is just a hobby. It has not monetized, so this is what I do. Let's see, I'm gonna need some paper towels. And we'll start. Not sure how well this is going to work with the camera. I really don't want to get grease all over this camera. I just greased the top U-joint on my steering shaft. Now I'm going to grease the bottom one. Okay, now I'm going to grease my shackles. My kingpins, I know that you're supposed to jack a truck up off the ground. To do that, it takes pressure, side loads off the kingpins, so grease will go all the way around them. I do that at least once every service. This is a side service or an in-between service, so I'm not gonna take the time to do it. I'm just gonna squirt a little in there and call it good. For all you big time truck judgers out there, think that you know so much about trucks, this is not a show truck. It's just a nice looking work truck. This truck's 25 years old with over 2 million miles on the chassis. So, I don't know what you think you're gonna see underneath the truck, but yeah, mine is dirty. So, just keep your judging to yourself. There's only one person that judges me, and that's God. So, just grease the S-cam and the slack adjuster. Whoops. Okay, that's everything on this side. We're gonna go to the other side. You guys that keep your trucks so showroom perfect, I don't know how you get anything done. This run that I got going from Denver to Tulsa is right at 700 miles a day. It's a 1,400 mile round trip. Three rounds a week, that is roughly 4,200 miles a week. And it's one thing to run the truck into the the Blue Beacon and get it washed, take a little bit to wipe it down. That ain't a big deal, but everything else to it, keeping the undersides as shiny as you do, there ain't no way you're driving 4,200 miles a week. Yet you advertise them as work and show trucks. Whatever. Maybe the truth, what's the truth is in that is that they possibly could be working for show trucks, but they're not honestly working show trucks. I gotta get another paper towel. I'll be right back. Okay, I had to bring my light. Old age, I need light all I can get. I cannot see without light, it seems like, even in lit up places. Can you see anything? Yeah, my truck's got an oil leak. Okay, let's move on down. As soon as I get my hat back on my head, I can't do anything without a hat on. These U-joints have two grease zerks opposite sides of each other. I like to use both of them. Okay, let's move on. Okay. This is the part when I used to be heavy really sucked. I got to the point where I took some railroad ties and I took my chainsaw and beveled one in like ramps, and I would pull my truck up on them railroad ties so I could slide underneath these rear ends. I don't have to do that no more because I don't have a belly no more. I weighed the other day, I'm down to 206. The 1st of April coming up here shortly will be a 1 year that I started this keto diet. If the scale will just say I've lost 2 more pounds, if the scale will just say I've lost 2 more pounds here on April 1st, making my weight 204, I can pretty much say I've lost 100 pounds in the past year. But we'll see what happens here. We still have a week to go or so. Okay, now you can watch me scoot under this old rear end housing without any problem. Whoops, I'm out of grease. Let me see how much battery you got left. Okay, we're back here. Let me get you all adjusted here again. I got grease in my grease gun now. We can make sure this U-joint got enough grease. There we go. Put a little dab in on the other side here. There, see a little movement? Okay. I just realized I forgot to grease my slip yoke, so I will race back down there and do that. I'll just put you here so you can watch me go back down there. I'll do the shimmy shuffle and go grease that real quick. Those take a little extra grease. Okay, we did the S-cam and slack adjuster over there on that side. You probably didn't see that, but you heard it. There we got a little extra coming out of there. My grandpa taught me at an early age how to use a grease gun, and it was the old crank style. And with the long lever, so trying to hold a grease hose on this and work that lever and all that, that was a pain. I like my battery powered grease gun these days. Some guys don't like them because they say, well, they grease too fast. Well, if you get a Milwaukee, they have 2 different speeds. So, and you have your trigger finger, see this? You can control how much you grease by how much you pull the trigger. So, you're still in control of it if you use your brains. But I forgot, a lot of people don't know how to use brains. There ain't a lot of brains that go around anymore, is there? Or common sense. Okay, we got 2 grease zerks left, and we'd be done. I don't put no grease on my 5th wheel because I run a nylon wear plate, but we still have the grease zerks on the saddles. So. And there's no load in this trailer, it's empty, so we should be able to grease this okay. Yeah, look at that. Now we'll go to the other side. Whoop. My grease gun might be trying to lose a gear. There. Alright, we got the greasing done. I do need to check the engine oil. We'll top that off. And then we can probably check the radiator just to check it, make sure it's looking good. The antifreeze level. I keep a little short bungee cord here on my dipstick because the engine vibrations, the lights that come out, I've done this for years. I do have a little O-ring on there, but it just doesn't stay in place. Oh, we're down just a little bit. Might take a quart. We'll top it off. Yeah, it's full. Okay, we'll get up here and pull the radiator cap, see where our radiator fluid's at. And then I think I'll wash my windshield, clean it up real nice, because we're going to be going trucking to Denver this evening. Whoop. She was a little bit warm, but it's right there. So now I get to clean my mess up. Like I say, she's not a show truck, she's just a work truck, making me a living. At least I'm working for a living and not sitting on the couch collecting government money. Which is something I don't believe in. Not if you're an able-bodied person anyway. I don't believe in it. All right, that concludes that. I'll set you to the side and let you see me back great wide out of the shop, I guess. That's iced tea, unsweetened iced tea. Okay, got the great white backed out and got my cutting torch over here. We're gonna try this heating technique and see what happens. All we gotta do is heat it up to just an orange glow, which won't take very long. This right here is what we're working on. I'm just gonna try it with my wrench and see what happens too. Look at that. It broke loose. I'm gonna go ahead and spray a little penetrating oil in it. And I'm gonna call that good. I'm just gonna let it have its time to cool off. I'm gonna mess with another project over here. I did get the engine to run, but I haven't had time to mess with anything else because I've been kind of messing with something else, and I can't quite talk about that yet. So yeah. So anyways, that'll be a future video coming out after I have this green machine all done and out of here, which is getting close. We're just gonna, I found a guy that says he can seal this all up so it don't leak. Thought he could do it for around 200 bucks. So I got that line broke loose. I've got these already loose. There's 2 bolts, it looks like, one there, and this will come out. So it won't take me very long. Maybe, oh, I'm gonna wait till it cools off, but I could probably have that off in 10 minutes. And then the other thing that we need to work on is these loaders, these 158 loaders. Whoops, did I give you too much of a view there? Maybe? Sorry about that. Them 158 loaders like to break bolts or make them loosen up from the workload they're experiencing. And these bolts like to come loose. And this one here has been broken off in the hole. So I get to drill a hole and hopefully an easy out and get that bolt out. But I will back all these bolts out one at a time. We will clean the holes real good. And then I've got some longer bolts. I don't know if I have them over here laying handy. They're somewhere around here. But I will put probably some orange Loctite. I've got some of that. It says it's still removable, that it's stronger than the blue stuff. I guess I put it on the shelf. And I'll use the orange Loctite and Loctite them all in good. And then we're gonna take it for a drive and get it warm. I think there's one more oil leak. You can see where it's been making a leak on the floor right there since it's been sitting here. So, well, actually that might be from taking these lines apart. I think that was made from these. But the PTO I think we got fairly fixed. It still leaks. See that pattern right there? This tractor's been sitting here for about a week since it's been moved last. And that's all it's made on the cardboard in a week. So what that's leaking from is not the seal that you saw me put on there for the wear ring. There is a pin. These PTOs are 2-speed PTOs. Depending, this is the 1000 RPM one. If you pull this out and put the other one on, there's a pin in the center that these either push or don't push, and it changes gears in the transmission. And that oil is leaking around that pin and coming back out and then leaking down and out. So I could probably totally fix that by maybe taking my welder and welding that up. But then you're gonna ruin the 2-speed function. You're gonna have 1 speed. And I don't know if that's something that guys do or not, but I don't think that's enough to worry about for an old farm tractor. So we can talk about that more later, meaning my family. But anyways, so that's that for now. I will bring you back as I'm starting to take that out, but I'm gonna let that cool and I'm gonna work on something else. And there's a video coming. There are gonna be some cool videos here in the future. So we will catch you later.